This is one of the best in-season coaching years I've ever seen. I said Friday, coaching mismatch, take Denver to win. Utter coaching mismatch. So we all know, I know, Jason knows, we all know it's a quarterback league. But it really helps to have a smart offensive coach. Ask Jared Goff in L.A., Tua in Miami, Brock Purdy in San Francisco, and ask Russell Wilson. Russell's career was in jeopardy 3.5 months ago. Sean Payton has taken an older, not ideally sized, very unique, expensive quarterback and has taken him from washed to highly effective and a passer rating around 100. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, who bailed on him, are now in a free fall. DK Metcalf out of control, though I love him. They don't really have a quarterback for the future. They've lost 4 straight games, and they just thought it was the right move. Maybe it was for Seattle. But I'd rather be Denver today with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson than a defensive coach and Geno Smith and Drew Lock. It's always felt, my entire adult life, it's felt like it's a kind of a 70-30. Quarterback's the most important, coach is about 30%. And we've seen that with Belichick and Brady. But the Broncos were such an absolute mess that coaching became more crucial. This may be a 70-30 coach quarterback or at least 50-50. This is an extreme makeover quarterback edition. It is an absolutely marvelous in-season coaching job. Denver does all the things. They're not great. They're not Dallas. They're not stacked. They're not San Francisco. They don't have a Mahomes, but they get first downs. Take away last week. They don't turn it over. Their quarterback makes 1 or 2 brilliant plays a game. Their quarterback is mobile. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They've got a linebacker in Singleton, or they've got somebody in the back end, Simmons. They got a top corner. They got a good enough pass rush. They have running backs who run hard and don't fumble. Cortland Sutton's a playmaker. You just look at Russell Wilson right now. Those numbers, he is top 5 or 6 in the league. And if you look at Denver's schedule, Detroit next, reeling. Then New England, reeling. Then Chargers, reeling. Then Raiders, not very good. 7-6, 8-6, 9-6, 10-6, 11-6. So nobody's patient anymore. It took a month and a half to figure this nonsense out. They were 1-5. But Denver now is 7-6. The schedule works in their favor. They're actually very healthy. They got their left tackle back. They've got a brilliant coach. This is who they are now. They're not the 1-5 team. This is what they are. This is what they give me virtually 6 of the last 7 weeks. You know what's interesting about Russell Wilson's career? So I remember the first time I watched him, I was on the couch, and I texted a friend who's a college football announcer, and I said, who's Russell Wilson for North Carolina State? Because the announcer had said, yeah, he plays baseball. And I'm like, who is this guy? He was great. Coach bailed on him. Goes to Wisconsin. NFL draft, people bail on him, despite having absolutely profound numbers at Wisconsin. Goes 3rd round. And then he's great. And then Seattle bails on him. And he goes to Denver. And everybody, including myself, kind of bailed on him after Nat Hackett. And now he's good again. Russell Wilson's journey has been about production and doubt. And then production at Wisconsin, but doubt in the draft. And then Seattle, production and then doubt. And then he goes to Denver, and it's flipped. It's doubt back to production. So this is part of his journey. And I got to tell you, I love watching Bronco games. I think they're well coached. It's not always pretty, but I kind of know what I get every weekend. And this feels, like I said about Green Bay last week in the NFC, this feels like a late producing team that's going to make the playoffs. So are the Buffalo Bills better today? Do I feel better about the Buffalo Bills today? Not really. The clock management at the end of the game was horrific. Stephon Diggs has disappeared. Gabe Davis didn't have a catch. But Josh Allen is so gifted. He's like Big Ben plus, several levels better than Cam Newton, who may be the best college player I've ever seen. Completing passes, falling down. Buffalo is completely, utterly reliant on one player. He is Atlas, holding the world of the Bills above his shoulders. There is no team in this league that is as dependent on a singular player as Buffalo is on Josh Allen. It's like Cam Newton in Carolina, though Josh is much better, that won an MVP at 26 and then never made a Pro Bowl after that. Too many shots, too much of a burden, had to carry too much. And again, Josh Allen is going to be fine for the next 3 or 4 years, but you do wonder how this thing ages. I mean, it is a lot of post-snap, running for your life, making plays happen. And Buffalo is the oldest team in the league. So as Josh starts making, Josh Allen's cap hit goes through the roof next year. Well, all of a sudden you have to start peeling back on those old veteran players, and he's going to be asked potentially to carry a larger burden of the Buffalo Bills. So I hope I'm wrong on this, but I feel like this is not going to end well in about 4 more seasons. He's going to be 31, 32, and you're going to say he kind of looks like he's aging. He's just carrying the franchise. And Buffalo now is 7-6, not a playoff team, bunched in with the Bengals and the Texans and the Broncos, and I feel much better about the Broncos today. They're not absolutely carried by one player. So I don't think it's getting better. I think Sean McDermott's a good man who had a very, very bad week, and that happens. And as we know about social media, everybody loves to jump on the avalanche and bury people. The 9/11 stuff, it was a miss. We know that. And that clock management at the end of that game was a mess, and he still can't deliver a running game, and Stephon Diggs has disappeared. I love watching Buffalo. I worry they're just wasting Josh Allen's best years.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.